Okay, we're live here, and I'm not alone. Sandy, Coach Sandy, my dear friend, welcome.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
We're doing good. So glad you're joining me here for this conversation. We are at the top of the hour, and all of a sudden, my dog, who's at my feet, just started breathing really heavily. I hope he's okay.
Of course
okay.
he did, because we're on camera.
Yes, that's right. Yes, these things happen. Murphy's Law. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for our Silver Linings episode. This is something that we've been batting around as an idea, right? Just amidst the tumultuous times that we are living in. And we thought, maybe we should consider doing a little bit of a different Facebook Live here. But just, Sam, in terms of those tumultuous times, and we'll see if anyone's joining us here. I am looking to see if our stream is going. I see Nancy and Jesse. Hey guys, welcome. Excellent. Sam, just off the top of your head, everything's turned upside down. What is, if you had to say, the biggest change that you're experiencing right now during this crisis?
For me, Rick, it would be being isolated from my family that doesn't live with me. Especially my mom, my dad, they are needing a little extra help right now, and just not to be there for them, and that's, that's hard.
It's rough.
It's hard for them, of course. So yeah, that's been pretty difficult, and I'm sure we'll talk about ways we've connected here in a few moments, but for me, that's just, it's like a daily, kind of a burden.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, I get it. I would say working from home. I know that that's something that you and probably people who are watching this, many people do work from home, but this has been by far the biggest change for me. I would just bottom line it by saying I think every day is Tuesday.
Oh, that's tough.
I don't know. It's not like I work, too much on the weekends or anything, but there's no lines of demarcation in my life right now. It's really weird. It's really weird. But there are silver linings, Sandy, which is what we're going to talk about.
You don't have a commute.
That's a big one. I'm actually sleeping more, which is tremendous. All right, so real quick, amidst all the changes, we promised we wouldn't burden the conversation with too many of these, but there have been a lot of funny memes going on. And I think you and I might have found this one to be our favorite. And this basically relates to what I just talked about, which was working from home. A lot of people tying in remotely to meetings. Zoom seems to be the most popular app. So not sure if you've seen this one, but we'll just start off on a lighthearted foot here. There we go. Take a close look at the Zoom meeting when it's audio only on the left, and then Zoom meeting with video. It occurred to me, Sandy, that it looks kind of a little bit like Keith Richards on the left, and then when there's no video, and then suddenly Keith turns into Liberace when you're going to be on video.
That's a really good way to summarize that picture.
Yeah. Anyway, too funny. Lots of thoughts, as we said. Let's just 2 seconds lay it out here. We had some trepidation about the idea of having an episode where we talked about silver linings, just given how serious everything is around us. So we in no way wanted this to come across too lighthearted and tone deaf, right?
Right. We don't want to be insensitive. We know there's, suffering on different levels, pain. There's stress and anxiety, of course, during this time. And we don't want to, make this, be out of touch with those things. We just want to appreciate those good things that are happening, those positive things that are happening all around us.
Yeah, absolutely. But on the other hand, and maybe you've experienced this, you're watching the news, and on one hand you almost can't tear your eyes away, but then all of a sudden you reach this point where you just have to turn the TV off. It's just so much bad news. So you and I bantered this idea. It was your idea. What if we talked about the silver lining, some of the unexpected positives that have sort of risen out of the situation here, big ones or small ones? And hasn't it been interesting? We both had an experience independently, and when we came back on the phone, describe what it's been like for you as you've been thinking about silver linings.
Yeah, so one day I was just happened to be noticing some very positive things that are happening all around us personally and in our world, just a number of things that were so encouraging about humanity in general that I decided to do a little experiment and literally carried a piece of paper around with me from morning till night and wrote down everything I saw or heard, whether it was something somebody shared on the news or in a HMR group, or something I just noticed my neighbors doing, and all around me, my radar was up for all positives and all the silver linings examples that were out there. It was just I was thrilled. It was such a great and positive experience to do that.
Yeah.
Really lifted.
And the funny thing is, we get on the phone, and Sandy told me that, and I was like, I've had the exact same experience. I started thinking about the silver lining concept, and I started looking around, and the more I looked, the more I saw. So here we are.
The more you see, it's absolutely true. And it goes the other way too. So it's a really good exercise in really focusing on those positives.
Absolutely. So let's, first of all, Sandy, we don't want to ignore people who may have joined here. My Facebook on my phone is not showing me the post. So if I'm peering into the camera, it's just to be able to say hi to people. So, wow, Sandy, maybe I could trust you to do that. Nancy, Jesse, Mary, Kim. Say hello to some people here, Sandy, so people can feel
I'm finding that actually, to be totally honest, it's not displaying for me, Rick, but I'm going to kind of click. I'm looking to my screen over here. That's why I'm looking off to my right.
Right.
I'm going to do some connecting here.
I'm going to reposition.
Unsuccessfully.
Great. So let me just say hi to Barbara and to Jesse. Hi, guys. Annika, great, really cool. Shane, my main man, excellent. Debbie, excellent, great. And Denise, I just responded to your post, I think, on the page earlier. Marianne, hello. So, okay, great. Hopefully these are going to come up, Sandy, so I don't have to keep reaching in. But all right. Well, be that as it may, the show will go on. So.
Yes.
A lot of unexpected positive silver linings, and I think that you could sort of organize this, because we really want to ask you who are watching, have you noticed this? And if so, you don't have to limit it to just HMR program silver linings. So really, you could kind of look at it as one of two categories. It could be non-program related entirely. It'd just be positive things that you've seen, you've experienced in your life, or it can be program related. I suspect we're going to get both, because I know that when we compared our lists, Sandy, we had a good sampling from both categories. So, and then I'll just preview the main categories that we've seen, but again, don't be limited by these categories. More family time. For a lot of people, that's a positive, and that's all I'll say. People exploring new technology in order to connect remotely, like you were saying, Sandy, not being able to interact in person. A general category of goodwill and generosity. Have you noticed some of the extraordinary things that are going on in societies? It's so uplifting.
It sure is. There's so many feel-good stories out there that are actually true, and it's so refreshing to see how we're all looking out for each other.
Absolutely. Yep. And then, of course, again, the benefits of being in the HMR program. There's, again, some real overlap with those things. Okay. So, Sand, let's see what we have here. Let's see if anyone has offered anything yet. Denise has to go soon. That's okay. I appreciate you tying in for as long as you did. Sandy, I think my speaker just went down with your voice. Can I hear you say something?
Me?
Oh, you're still there. Good. It's just beeping. Low battery. You could be gone. I'll put you up on the iPad. Okay. More family time. Who's had that experience? I mean, who hasn't had that experience? But I guess to refine the question is, has it come across as a positive? So what would you say about that, San? Any comment in that category?
Absolutely. I mean, I have my own personal experiences with more family time. Certainly with having the shelter in place, it's just out of necessity. We are together more time. In fact, I have a funny story. I think it's kind of funny. I was making dinner the other night, and my adult daughter lives with us, and she was setting the table. And I had the thought, wow, this is different. You mean sit on the couch with our plates on our lap and watch TV and totally ignore each other? So we actually had a meal, dinner, a meal together at the table, looking at each other, having a conversation. My husband, my daughter, and I. And it was like we've really been missing out on this.
Yeah.
It was really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You described that with your family. I can't tell you how many times I felt a wash of relief when people confide that, oh yeah, my son's on his iPad, my daughter's looking at her phone, and I have the TV on in the background. It's like, I'm not the only one. Oh, that's so great.
Oh God.
It's really funny. All right, let me counter that with an example. I've been going on walks every day, scheduled walks with my wife Gisela, and that's not something that we do. Life's so busy, we work late, we get home late and whatnot, but we've made that a priority. And I have to say, sometimes it's hard to do, but we're both totally committed to doing it because it just has you aligned and more connected, and it's so easy to go through the craziness of all this change and all this upheaval and to not be connected. So we've made that a priority, going on these walks.
Huge right now. Same here. We've been going on some evening walks, husband and I, and had some good conversation, and getting in some. It's a good stress reliever too, I think, to just get away from the house that way.
Absolutely. I'm going to. You let me know if you get posts, but in the meantime, I'll represent the posts here.
Okay.
Great. Barbara's got one. This one, I would put this, Barbara, as a programmatic one, Sandy. I love that I don't have to be tempted to go out to eat. We can.
Ooh.
That's a big one. Life's easier.
Food.
Yeah. It's kind of confronting, isn't it? Like you might not think that you're out there doing crazy things, but all of a sudden it's gone, and you're like, wow, this is so much easier around my food choices.
And isn't it interesting, when that's gone, you've got to fill it in with something else. And again, more home family time, or even if you don't have a family, if you're alone, there is definitely probably more thought given to what you're eating when you're preparing it yourself.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah,
that makes perfect sense. Here we go. Anateria. I'm spending a great time with my grandkids, and I'm loving it. And that's exactly what we're talking about. Let me represent a few here. Being homebound, I can schedule PA and meals. Jesse, I'm loving the extra family time. We're settling into new routines too. Dinners at the table and more conversations. Well, Sand, I think I'm getting my next step here in terms of what I have to take away from this. I think that's the next area for me, is to be a little bit more structured around sitting around the family dinner. We're doing other things. I bet you guys are you playing any games? I mean, we're doing a ton of games.
not so much games for us, but more jigsaw puzzles.
Oh, I count that as same thing.
Our third one, 1,000 pieces. But again, that connection that happens naturally, when you're doing something together, when you're working on something together, whether it's, puzzles or home project. How about you? What games are you guys playing over there?
Jigsaw puzzles, one down, starting the second one. We even went out and got a new table for it. It's the jigsaw puzzle table, so it's got its own spot in the house. But yeah, we've been playing different games. I actually set up a croquet out in the yard, which was great. I did that with my daughter. We are terrible at croquet. It's just unbelievably hard to hit the ball far. We have played some Monopoly. In fact, a little show and tell here. Sam, I'm going to test your Monopoly acumen here. Guardians of the Galaxy Monopoly. Now, let me ask you, Sam, do you know what the most expensive real estate is in the regular Monopoly game?
In the regular one?
Yes. And does anyone else know that?
Oh, shall we let somebody else guess?
I'm looking. I don't think anyone know the most expensive. Well, I don't want to belabor it too much. How about you?
Boardwalk.
Very good. Boardwalk. Okay. Well, very good. You just got Monopoly 101 correct. Now let's go. Let's move from playing checkers to chess. What would be the equivalent of the Marvel Universe Guardians of the Galaxy Boardwalk, Sandy? Who is the most powerful being in the universe?
Oh, you're assuming I know stuff about Guardians of the Galaxy.
Denise just got Boardwalk. I wonder if she can get this. I'll give you 10 seconds, Denise. Anyone? Most powerful? What is the equivalent? Guardians of the Galaxy to Boardwalk? Thanos. Thanos is the big bad guy. All right. Maybe too much of a deep dive on Marvel for our dear audience. Oh, I do have to say this though, because you're busy. No clue, Denise said. Once in a while, you get into this mode of playing games with the family, and then there comes that, hey, let's play another game, and you're kind of gamed out. I don't know if you've had that experience, but so I have a real secret move here that puts the gaming requests to an absolute halt. I say, oh, you want to play another game? I have one more game that we can play. Let's play this wonderful game from Parker Brothers, Ouija board. That pretty much has the kids saying, I think I'm out.
I'm right there with your kids.
I've had that. I don't think I've ever played it, and it's like really old. I don't even remember when we got it. Erin, more time for exercise. There's her silver lining, and so grateful that my boys are homebodies. Yeah, that's great. Really good, Erin. What else? What are some other silver linings that you're experiencing or that you're observing? Again, they can be related to the HMR program, or they can be non-program related. They could be things that you've seen in your community or in your society. Family time. How about this whole move to connect remotely, Sandi? You had mentioned that your husband's been all into the Zoom. Share that story. That's a pretty good one.
Yeah. So he was a Zoom newbie, so the learning curve was pretty fast because he was invited to join a happy hour on Zoom, and each person, he only knew one or two people on this Zoom, and it's like, if you haven't done it yet, it's like a video conference.
Yeah.
We get a lot of people together and see each other, and so each person in their different locations had their own happy hour drink going, and he's big on the whiskey, so he had his whiskey there. Anyway, but he was connecting with people from all over the states. He didn't know most of them, and what I was just kind of listening in, a fly on the wall, but it was really cool that, here you had a group of people and you're getting to hear what everybody was experiencing. They got to hear each other, they got to be heard, and it almost felt like a support group in a way.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it was just really awesome to hear everybody's experiences and just have a little comedy relief in there too. That was really unexpected.
It's surprising how you actually can connect with people in a very personal way through technology. You guys are seeing Sandi right here. I mean, it's like you are in the room right now. It's just tremendous how you can do this.
Yeah.
So I will share that I was a Zoom newbie, and I'm still not very good at it, but as a sign of the times, my 77-year-old neighbor said, hey, I hear you know how to do the Zoom. You need to come over and teach me how to do it. So I was like figuring it out as I went along. But the app I'm really excited about is House Party. Have you heard of this one?
Only from you, and I'm really anxious to try it out. Tell everybody what it is.
Yeah, so House Party, it basically it resizes, and whenever someone new joins, it resizes the screen perfectly, and everyone has equal showing. Now I hear Google Duo is pretty good too, but I haven't tried that one. But I really like House Party. So the other night, I texted my nephews, so the younger generation. I said, hey, let's have a 10-minute House Party conversation, just like that. They were all on it. They downloaded it in no time. And so I'll just show a snapshot of us on the House Party conversation. Here are my dear nephews. And
cool.
So our 10-minute conversation went an hour and 3 minutes. It just went on and on. Not sure what we talked about, but by the time it ended, one of them said, we got to do this every week. Let's do it next Wednesday night too. And so that we're going to do it. So
isn't that odd? And don't you hope that we just continue to do this sort of thing?
Yeah.
And or of course, when we're able to go about as we wish in the future, and there will be a time when we're able to do that.
Yeah.
So we'll be able to see more folks in person, but even just connecting with people we don't get to see very often. I think this is something I know I want to continue to do. In fact, tonight, my husband and I and our two daughters and their significant others have a Zoom meetup. So it'll be really nice to see my other daughter and her fiance, and my daughter who lives with us, poor thing, hasn't been able to see her boyfriend in a long time. So he'll be on there too. It's just going to be great. Really looking forward to it.
That's great. That's so cool. Really, really cool. Let me just read a few of the posts here. Saying, Zoom is good. Someone just endorsed Zoom. Oh, this is Denise again. Excellent. All right, so Marianne Griffith, my son has to do Zoom for school. Yeah, my daughter, 11, did a Zoom call today with her teachers. Isn't that amazing? Sue, dear Sue, more people out in the neighborhood walking and biking. People are more friendly. Have you noticed that, Sandy?
Oh my gosh, yes, it's incredible.
Yeah.
A lot friendly, kind. In fact, can I share something real quick?
Yeah.
About, I answer the phones here at HMR, and we're getting a lot of calls, which is great. Anytime you guys need us, call us. And every call ends with "stay safe" or "thank you guys for whatever all that you're doing for us to get us our foods." It always ends with just an extra dose of kindness, and it's just really, really something. I'm totally enjoying that.
That is great. That is
Yeah.
so great. Stay safe. I love it. I love it. I've been saying that myself to people.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's great. Really good. Nancy, my Thursday Night Live event co-host. Hello there. Lots of people and families out walking, playing in their yards. Marla, like getting to know my coworkers and customers on a more personal level. Isn't that ironic?
Yeah.
Through the tech, you're getting to know them better. I'm assuming that's what you mean.
You're not even physically in the same location anymore.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know. It's almost humorous.
Yeah, and we can all,
I do today.
can't we all relate to that? It's unfortunately it's a bit of an indictment about how we are in our automaton-like ways of going through life, where we may not be connecting with the people right in front of us. Wow,
Yeah.
that's quite a thought.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe this is a wake-up call to connect more, huh?
Yeah. Tried a new cooking method. Shane baked a whole head of I'm assuming that's cauliflower. Oh, excellent. Yeah, I tend to microwave. I like my food quick. I microwave the cauliflower and I'll mince it up. I can almost make like my own riced cauliflower. And to me, cauliflower is the great mixer vegetable. That and green beans, I can put that with just about anything. It takes on the flavor of it, and it's so low calorie. Love it. You like that, cauliflower?
I love it. And to Shane's point, I don't know if this is your point, Shane, but it made me think that I feel like I have more time in my days these days, and I am sticking more things in the oven. I'm taking time to try new methods of cooking, try new recipes, and just spending more time exploring different ways to prepare foods, especially fruits and vegetables. That's awesome. How supportive now.
Totally great.
And always.
We should just step back for a minute, just in the event that people have come in and missed sort of the upfront. We are, of course, reviewing, as you hear us going on here, unexpected silver linings that are popping up amidst the crisis that we're in. And we won't belabor it, but we went back and forth about whether or not this was an appropriate topic or not, just given how dire the circumstances are for so many people. And the more we thought about it, first of all, the more silver linings we saw, and the more uplifted we felt. And it didn't just seem like a good idea, it almost seemed like it became an important idea to do it. So here we are.
Here we are.
Yeah. Okay, the categories that we've been talking about are more time with the family, new technology that ironically has people connecting, and sometimes on an even more personal level, remotely. Let's talk a little bit more about that third category, goodwill and generosity that we're seeing. Sandy, you rattled off a bunch of examples. What are some of your favorites of just people being magnanimous and caring for others?
There's just a deep well of examples here. People in general are looking out for each other. Do you see that? I'm just seeing that everywhere, Rick. And
I do. I see it when I went to Walmart. I'm all covered up and everything, but I'm just so struck by the customer service and people being so aware of everyone.
Yeah.
It's just been wonderful.
I'm standing in line at Trader Joe's just to get in the door, standing 6 feet apart from the person in front of me, and they've already cleaned the cart. They've sanitized the cart for me. The employees there ready to take it in, and so there's that. You hear stories of folks looking out for the vulnerable, the elderly, checking on our our elderly neighbors. I know that's something we're taking on, you know, a couple here in our neighborhood. And then there's, you know, people I don't know, but I hear these stories of, like, there was a Colorado couple who paid for, you know, COVID-19 testing for everyone in their community. They paid for the testing. Wow. That was just amazing. And then Coach Nancy shared an example of a guy in Massachusetts who had a truckload of just, you know, daily necessity, daily items that people need, and he was giving them out specifically to some seniors and just really looking out for them. You know, there's just a couple of examples. I could go on.
Yeah. Well, I'll throw one in real quick. Just in our neighborhood, you know, the neighborhood is pretty close knit. We're on Facebook and whatnot, and we, you know, many of us use the same cleaning crew, and they're not going into anyone's homes. They're not making any money. So many of the households have banded together and are offering to still pay them while they're, you know, not really getting any work. I can't imagine a lot of people are doing that, but, you know, any little bit matters for people who aren't employed right now during this time.
Yeah, there's a lot of folks who depend on those service-oriented income. You know, hairdressers is one that comes to mind. I know of someone who paid for 3 haircuts up front, you know, a couple weeks ago to their hairdresser, who's a friend of my daughter's, and just to make sure she had, you know, was taking care of her and wouldn't be without.
Great.
I mentioned when we first started, you know, one of the challenges that I'm having personally is being there for my family who needs help right now, especially my mom and my dad. But and I'm just throwing this out as an idea in case someone's kind of in the same situation I am, where you're wanting to do something but you kind of feel paralyzed. And if I were there visiting them, I would take them to dinner. And so since I can't do that, I ordered dinner in for them. So I took them out to dinner just kind of to give them a break and with some things that they're having to deal with as a part of this pandemic. So I used, you know, I think I used, what did I use yesterday? It was Uber Eats, I think is what I used. It's an app. You can order from a restaurant and have it delivered. There's Postmates, there's Open Table, DoorDash. So lots of options there if you want to bless somebody.
Fantastic. What an awesome gesture. We had promised that we were going to have this be somewhat of a quick hit. So I think we've got maybe 3 or 4 more minutes before we want to start to wrap this up. I would love to turn the corner a little bit and just see if there are any other programmatic HMR program type silver linings that people have observed or experienced. What are the benefits, if any, that you're experiencing being in the program right now? I know someone earlier, Sandi, said that the idea of not being out and about in the high-calorie food environment, where the temptations are everywhere, has been a huge relief. That's fantastic. I've had a different experience. I have had that experience too, but I've had another experience where, you know, I really made sure I've stocked up. I've got all my favorite HMR foods, and I've got a lot of produce. And you got to go at the right time to get it, but you can get it. I have found when I go to make my multigrain cereal today, it was with a double with strawberries and some bananas in it. I have found this. It's not, relief might be too strong a word, but it's this just this ease of not needing to think about it. And I think what's behind that is that I think I'm thinking about a lot these days. I think, you know, there's a lot of moving plates. You're spinning a lot of balls. And I feel like a lot of my strategies with HMR foods and the produce, it's like this effortless, yes, that's exactly what I'm going to have. I'm not going to put any more thought and energy into it. And I think that has landed in such a positive way for me because unwittingly, I think I'm putting a lot of thought and energy into other things. Does that make any sense at all to you?
Yeah, no, it does. I totally get what you're saying, and I wish I was having that same experience, Rick. But, you know, this has been hard on my routines, this thing. I think it has to do with maybe just the stress of all of it, just having you're really, our worlds have turned a bit upside down in many respects. And I hear what you're saying about routines being really helpful and kind of having you have something that, is constant or unchanging that you were doing before all this started.
Yeah.
Quite a comfort. But for me, sometimes my days just, I'm hanging on to routines by a thread.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been a struggle.
Yeah.
It's been
I get it. It totally makes sense. I think as you were talking, I think I formulated it in my mind a little bit more clearly. I feel grateful about how easy and convenient it is for me to just get food that I like and know that I'm not like veering way off track and I'm going to have to play catch up some other time. So be that as it may. What other you had mentioned you perused the community as much as anybody. There were a couple of things that people were grateful for, and then we'll sort of wrap this up here.
Sure. Yeah, I actually came with some examples. I'm looking at my paper here. Spoke to a patient who said he, since he can't go to restaurants and he had to cancel his travel plans, he's eating more HMR foods and fruits and vegetables. And since he's had to shelter in place, he's lost 8 pounds.
Wow.
8 pounds. I know. Isn't that awesome?
That's a statement. Boy, you mean it could have gone the other way. Isn't that interesting?
It could.
Yeah. But maybe he's taken on that theme that we've been hearing more of, like, this is something I can control, and I'm making it work. I'm holding the reins on this one. Exactly.
Another thing I will say is, I mentioned I answer the phones here at HMR and talk to people who are placing orders and whatnot. And I often hear how grateful people are that our foods are being delivered to their homes, because in some areas it's hard to get some of the foods that you need and or want. And so, we are fully supplied, everyone. I want y'all to know that. We are no problem there.
That's a great one.
Yeah. How about, have you heard this, Rick? The constant of having a class and access to a coach, that support that has not been interrupted. And even this page, this Facebook group that we have, I think is really a bulwark, if you will, for lack of a better word. That's an ancient word right there.
Yeah, it's grown fast. We've up to, I think, 1,600 people. It's tremendous how it's been taking off. Really good. Yeah.
It has. Okay, 2 more real quick.
Okay, then we'll wrap up.
From a client, she said, "This has been a wake-up call around my health and a reminder of how important it is to practice healthy behaviors." Yeah. So, it's, and it really has. We have heard, the most vulnerable among us are those who have some health issues. And so all the more reason for us all to keep practicing, our good eating habits, our exercise habits. And we didn't even get into talking about PA, Rick, but...
I have to. We were going to cut this, but let me just say, walking in nature, that's right near the top of the silver linings I've experienced. I've been out in the woods every day without exception. Even if it's for a short walk, there's just something that is so rejuvenating about that. So if you haven't tried that, that's really something to consider. And now we're starting to see science showing that it makes a difference, more of a difference in people's moods compared to walks in the city or whatnot.
Okay, well, I have another challenge for you then.
I'm hearing it. Go.
Have you heard about the guy who ran a marathon on his balcony?
Oh my God, I did. Is he
in Italy?
Yeah, in Italy, right.
Back and forth for 7 hours.
Yeah. Can I do a half marathon instead?
I don't even know if I'd do a mile.
Challenge not accepted. Sorry.
But he was doing it in honor of our healthcare workers, and there's a lot of that going on as well too. Just folks just really honoring those who are putting themselves on the front line. And I know I have clients in my groups that are doing that, and I'm just just really appreciative of all the service that our healthcare providers are giving right now.
Absolutely. Yep. Really great.
Can I share one thing before we wrap it up?
Sure, go ahead.
This was actually on our on our group page, somebody posted this. Rebecca posted in this group. One of the best things about the program is that it's like a home base or safe haven for me. We all have circumstances that can play havoc with us, but having a structured place to return to can really help ground you and get you back on track. And if that's a silver lining, I don't know what is.
That is a silver lining. That's a good, positive note to end our discussion on. Guys, thank you for joining us here. Obviously, there's a lot more bad news coming down the road, and it's important to take the time to notice, even if they're the little things like we've been talking about here, silver linings, they can uplift you, especially when you're trying to stay on track with your weight. It's just so easy to feel the burden of that. So I think that this whole silver lining concept is one that I personally have valued. And I'm so grateful that you brought it up as an idea to have this discussion here. And the last thing I'll say is it is pretty astonishing when you walk around looking for them, you do see them. Yeah. If you're intentional about it, you will see them. So keep looking for them. And good luck until we all talk next. Sandi, I'll let you sign us off here. Any final words for our audience?
No, just stay encouraged, everybody. And as I've been hearing, like I said, folks tell me every day, be safe. Mm-hmm. And let's keep lifting each other up in this group. And if you're struggling, let us know. Reach out.
Yes.
And take care.
Great. Excellent. And I hope you can join Nancy and me on this Thursday night, 7 o'clock Eastern Time, for our live support event. The more contact, the more support, the better. Have a great night, everyone. Thanks for sharing part of your night with us.
Bye-bye.